Hi there everyone, it's Kira and this is Polymer Clay TV. Thanks for watching. I wanted to show you this pair of earrings that I made this week and explain to you exactly how that was done using mylar backed foils. So these are baked and ready to wear, and you can see that there's a little grunge and crackle effect on these, but for the most part they're just beautiful and shiny, and the backs are gold, so I did it on antique gold Primo. And these foils do not need to be sealed because they are heat set, so they actually bond with the clay. So the foils look like this. This is just little pieces of them. And they are mylar backed, and the backing looks like this. So when you apply them to the clay, you put the backing against the clay. So let me just switch this out with some clay that I prepared. So today I'm going to be working on some Primo clay. The color is burnt umber. So it's burnt umber Primo, and the reason I'm doing it on here is because I do want to use these for a larger project later on after I've transferred the foil, and putting them all on the same color backing is going to help them all go together really well. So let me zoom out a minute and show you what you get. So the foils are 6 by 12 inches, big huge pieces. There's 72 square inches on there, so it really goes a long way. And the colors, this is the grunge metallic pack. So you get a copper, like a light copper, a bright yellow gold, a gunmetal black, a russet oxidized coppery color, a lighter gold, and my absolute favorite, which is rose gold. And the rose gold is this bottom color here after baking. They are heat tested and approved. They can go in your oven just fine without damaging the colors. So what you'll want to do is roll out your clay. This is a number 4 thickness on my pasta machine, and cut out some pieces that are going to fit on your pieces of clay. And we're going to take them color side up and silver side down and burnish them onto the clay. So I like to use my finger because you don't want to get air bubbles underneath. If there's an air bubble under there, then that is a spot where this is not going to transfer onto the clay, which a lot of people find using mylar foils a little bit frustrating in the beginning until you get a technique. Okay, because any place there's a bubble or something, it won't transfer, which is okay. I have great luck with, if there's like a spot that didn't transfer, I just put the foil right back down on there, burnishing it again, and it usually comes off. But I start by placing it on with my finger and sticking it to the clay. So there are a couple of fun things you can do before you put it on the clay to give it more of a grungy effect. So if you have one of these, this is a little wire scrubber brush, and you can actually scratch and grunge up the back of the foil before you even lay it down, because you're basically just taking some of that foil off of the mylar. So in these places it's not going to transfer onto the clay, and it'll have that sort of scratchy, grungy, ancient, used, worn, whatever you want to call it, however you want it to look in your description of the piece. But this gives it a cross-hatched, scratchy effect. So you can see a little bit through. It might be hard because of the just because of all the lights that I have on, but I'm gonna lay this one on this piece, burnish it. See, it even has like a the piece of foil I'm using has like a little bend in it, and I don't care because this piece is going to be intentionally grungy. And this is how you can use up all of your pieces, because see, from my previous project, my pieces look like this after transferring. So the edges are grunged up, or there might be little grungy spots in the middle there, and I could totally transfer this right here onto a new piece of clay and get this sort of splotched effect, which would be pretty cool. So I also have this one, which has all kinds of color still left on the mylar, but in a very scratchy looking way. So it would be pretty cool to transfer this as well. So this is another one of those things where hardly any of it goes to waste as long as you can come up with a reason for using it. So you just burnish it on with your finger. And now that it's burnished, we're going to come back with an old credit card or some kind of other flat burnishing tool. We put these in every package, so maybe you have one of these lying around if you're a Create Along customer. But this is what's next. So I like to give it some friction on the back here and really burnish that foil onto the clay. And I will do that to all of these. Now, my trick is that I wait about 10 minutes before the next step. So while this is sitting, bonding with my clay, I'm going to talk to you about the difference between these mylar foils and other types of foils. So these are composition foils. These are the ones from our fairy pack that are colored. So this is just a piece of very thin, wispy, metallic foil. And it's all metal. It's just like a colored metal sheet. And it's very, very thin, and it sticks right to the clay when you pull a little piece off and stick it down. You may be familiar with the kind that you can get in the craft store, which looks like this. It's bigger. Usually it comes between some other paper, and it's very, very shiny, and it's basically this incredibly thin piece of metal. So this flies all around your studio, and there's a piece that went astray, but it will stick down to your clay just by touching. But there's no glue or bonder involved, so after putting this on your clay, if you were going to wear it on a piece of jewelry, I would suggest sealing it somehow, because after baking it can scratch off. Now, there's crackle techniques that you can do with this type of leaf, and when you pull on your clay, it does produce a very large, nice crackled look. So let me just focus better on that for you. So it does a really fun crackle. And one of the things about the foil that I like is that it does a very fine crackle that looks more glittery. So the top piece here has been crackled, but you can barely tell. It just kind of gives it an aged look, as opposed to those big, bold crackles that you get from, this is called composition leaf. So this type and the smaller pieces they're usually sold as composition leaf. You can also get them in real 22 karat gold or sterling silver, which will tarnish. So you have to care for that, like sterling silver with the tarnishing cloths and whatnot. But you can, if you want to elevate the value of your piece, you can certainly get it in the real metals. But for crafting purposes, most of us buy the composition leaf, which is colored aluminum. So it's pounded out real thin and dyed to a color, and then that's just it's a totally different product from what I'm demoing today here. All right, let's do this. I can actually see from my point of view that some of this has transferred because the edges are peeling up, but this is how we do it, and I'm gonna just flip this around to give me access to my right hand. You're gonna grab the edge and just rip this off like a band-aid. So you see what I mean? There are 3 little pieces here that didn't transfer, probably because there was an air bubble or something. And what you can do if that bothers you is lay it back over your clay and make sure those pieces are touching really well. And let it sit for a few more minutes and see if you can get them to also transfer. This is the piece that I scratched up, so I'll pick that up and show you what that looks like in a couple minutes here. Here's that bright yellow gold and the black. Oops. I can see we are getting funky stuff happening with the black, so I'm going to let it sit a little bit longer. And that's really all you need to do. So if it bugs you that a little chunk didn't transfer, you can put it back in place and leave it and see if you can get it all to come off. And if not, you know, I don't care, because what I'm going to end up doing with this piece is I'm going to be chopping it all up and using it for various things. So at the moment, it doesn't bother me that there's pieces not transferred. So this is very shiny and pretty, and you can see when you bend it that you get a very fine crackle that looks glittery. However, if you did put some more clay behind it, like here, let's say I want to force a crackle. So I've got another piece of clay, and I'm just going to lay this on top and roll this through my pasta machine and show you what I get when I double it up. I want you to understand how different it is from the other type of composition foil. So what I've got is a smooth, larger area with extremely fine crackle. Let me see if I can zoom in on that and show you. See that? That's the crackling. Small, fine crackles, not big chunky ones. So I really like this effect. To me it looks very metal, you know, very much like metal. And as you stretch it out, you can make this piece of clay bigger and bigger, and you're never going to lose the metallic effect. If I go through the pasta machine one more time, so this is the rose gold. I really love how it looks. And when I started manipulating it and using cutters on it, you're going to get not so much of this super high shine, but more of a gentle shine after baking. So you can do anything with this. My favorite thing to do is cut it up into pieces and applique it. This one I used the little tiny triangle cutter and a couple of the moon shapes, and just started layering and playing with different things. So have a great time with this. I could see this being really great stuff for steampunk projects and just all kinds of fun things. Absolutely, definitely use a very nice, soft, sticky clay like Primo. This is not going to transfer very well on something like souffle. Souffle has too much of a sort of suede-y feeling to it, and not enough of the sticky stuff that makes the foil stick and bond to the clay. So definitely use Primo. Probably Fimo Professional or Cernit would work if you're using a European brand. But Primo is what I always use, so I know that they are going to work on there. I also know that it works on regular white Sculpey. So if you like that clay and you do more mixed media pieces, you can use it on the regular white Sculpey 3 also. So I hope that gave you a little insight onto how to use this stuff, and I would love to see your projects. This one is posted in Polymer Clay Tribe if you want to go take a closer look at pictures and stuff. And if you would like to win this pair of earrings, come on over to the blog at Polymer Clay TV and leave me a question, comment, or concern or anything, just let's talk about these foils, and I will enter you to win these earrings next week. I'll pick a winner. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week on Polymer Clay TV.